Hey folks, I'm Mike, Kilo Echo Zero Victor India Mike, and this is the Travelin Ham. Today, we're going to be discussing my newest project in ham radio, the Nanuk 909 case. You ready? Let's go.
Okay folks, here's the deal. I'm at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
This is going to be a special
One of the most intense trails.
This is the operating station.
That's a bear.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
That traveler has
I just do things.
It was a huge, beastly, bulging man. Plates were from Kansas.
So a few years ago, I acquired my FT-891 to make my activations more portable. And at that time, I had a very good friend who printed me some 3D rails. He 3D printed me some rails to go on the sides of them. His bed wasn't big enough to make the rails full length, so the file he used cut them in half, and the two halves would bolt onto the, or attach right here at these screws, and they just sort of overlapped in a way in the middle that made them, for the most part, one piece. And for 2 years, they did everything they needed to do. There's hardly a scratch on this radio. But they just started to break down kind of in the middle. So I knew there was another solution I was gonna have to come up with. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just get myself some decent rails this time. And when I priced those, I thought, what else could I do for that same amount of money? Because it seemed like a lot for me, just for some accessory rails to go on the side. So the direction I decided to take was to go with a radio case. A case that's just made to hold the radio, and it's a size just to hold the radio. So it can easily go in and out of a backpack. Okay, I did not want to make this a go box, because when you start talking about adding in like your battery in here, let's say, if you get sizes bigger than this, you tend to add on like 4 inches to its length, 4 inches to its depth, and a lot of height as well, and you end up with a really, really big box. This thing is pretty slim, and it can go into even an average size backpack or a small size backpack. So I just wanted it to be a radio case. It's really a replacement for the rails, and at the same time, you know, it's protecting the radio on all sides. It's waterproof when it closes, so offers more protection for less price. I got this around $60. And the radio fits really perfect in here. Almost too perfect. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so there you go. I'll put the interior dimensions of the case on the screen here, but as you can see, the FT-891 fits in there almost perfectly. I mean, there's not a lot of slop in the width there. Now today's my first day bringing this out, and I think I'm gonna assemble this just kind of a rough draft in here. I'm not gonna physically attach anything. I'm just gonna have the stuff in here and hook them up and see how it works. So that's today's goal with this setup. The plan is I'm gonna put the mounting bracket on the radio. I will attach Velcro to the bottom of the bracket and then Velcro it down onto the bottom of the case. So then the radio itself won't have any Velcro stuck to it. It's just the mounting bracket. And if I use the hook Velcro on the bracket, then if I even end up someday putting it like under a seat in the truck, it'll help hold it in place. I don't even have to take it off. So that's that, and it gives me just enough room with the face detached to be able to have all my wires and connections right here. The other thing this does nicely is that my radio is always oriented this way, with, of course, all the connections in the back, face in the front. I had the rails right here. The rails were kind of interference for operating the knobs, and I would always have this kind of, it would be sort of attached to a picnic table like this, because I'd have the cable coming off the antenna, and I would wrap it around the bench before it goes out to the antenna. Reason being, if someone trips on it, it'll just catch the seat and it won't pull at the connection on the radio. And by the time I did that and had my heavy battery hooked up to this, I couldn't really maneuver this much when I wanted to get to the backside and hook up the Morse code key. So that was always kind of a pain. And I wanted better access to stuff in the back. When I was planning this, I thought I would have like a little acrylic cover right here with all my connections that I could make, and everything would just go underneath and hook up. As it's turned out, just by turning this thing sideways, just because it's right, you know, all the hookups are right here on the side, I can get all this stuff easily. All I got to do is tilt my head a little bit and I can see where that connection is. I can make that connection for the key. And I have great access to everything here. There's no need to put a little piece of acrylic here and make all the, you know, the through connections right there. And then, you know, everything, all the connections would just be right here instead of physically into the radio. But that would cause me more problems and wouldn't really fix anything the way it's turned out. So I totally eliminated that part of it, and that makes this whole thing really simple. Now I just got this little pigtail here to attach the battery. I've got a 90-degree adapter on the coax connection there. So that's easier to get to. I don't have to fish down and attach this, you know, horizontally here while it's in the case. Everything's just easy enough to get to. Okay, so what about the face? For the face, I got this Lido mount. So I can hook it on just like so. And this has got the suction cup base. And I can attach it just like so. And now I've got wonderful access to all these knobs and no rails in the way. Good as they were at protecting these knobs, it was always kind of a pain. You know, I got some paws, and by the time I put my hand in here like this, I'm bumping that rail. But I got better access to the knobs, to all the knobs on the face. And I can set this at any angle I need to now to see that readout better. The only thing I don't like about the size of this has been so perfect that I can't keep this, the Lido mount, in the case. The face, I can, even with a few extra wires in here, I can set the face in this space right here. The other thing I want to do is I've got this cheap Lenovo tablet that I'm wanting to Velcro up in the lid like so, and then be able to attach it to the radio or to my logging laptop and be able to bring information up on that screen. So knowing that, the key character that I've left out so far is this, the DigiRig 891. So this is going to be hooked up to the 891, and it's just going to live in this case. And I'll tuck it in somehow here. It's one of the things I'm hoping to figure out today. And I've got this USB-C here connection that can either go to the tablet, or like today, I'll probably just run it to my logging software. And I may connect the logging laptop to the tablet and see if I can run that as an extra screen that way. So that's what I'm hoping to work on today. Play around with this while nothing is attached yet. See how everything works together. Operate with it in the case a little bit. See if there's anything else I'll change. I've already had to go through one round of returning parts that I now no longer need and ordering new parts because I decided I'm not going to do the little acrylic board that with the bulkhead connectors and make all my hookups to my radio that way. I've already made that one change. There might be another coming, who knows? And the plan is most of the time I'll be running out of this case. This radio will be in this case. That's where he'll live. If I go on, you know, a moderate hike, 2-3 miles, I'll just grab this box and slide it into my backpack along with everything else I need, batteries or whatever else I need to throw in there, my coax and my antenna. And it'll stay in there unless there's some really, really, really extreme hike, like a Grand Canyon type hike, or I'm really wanting to cut pounds and ounces, and then I'll still be able, because it's just Velcroed in, I can pull that radio up and just have the naked radio and shed all that other weight. And then it can go in a dry bag and ride in the radio that way. That's the plan for this year, but I'm really interested to get to October of 2025 and see how all this works. That'll be That'll be fun. See what kind of changes maybe we'll make to it later. Maybe I decide I wish I just had a Go box. We'll see how it runs today. All right, we're gonna get them all set up here. I got this box filled with all kinds of bits and bobs. Just got my first soldering iron stations. There's a few things like that in there. All kinds of stuff. Hopefully I have everything I need to get this hooked up. Let's get the digi-rig hooked up there. Now I got a cable. Let's see, I'm gonna need that. Gonna need that. I don't even have my face hooked up. You can see the cord that the FT-891 came with is only this long. So I've ordered a longer cable. Here's the one I'm looking for. That will connect the digi-rig to the computer. This digi-rig, it seems pretty cool. You know, and they give you the specific cords that you need to hook up to your radio, but nothing on this end. I wish it, you know, if I could change one thing, let's have it all in one and give me a USB to USB-C cable. I don't know, there's probably, I'm sure there's some argument for how it was done the way it was done. Let's see, trash back in here so I don't litter in my park. So that'll go there. And then I've got plenty of cord to reach a computer. So, how is this? Let's get this face out of the way. For now, what is going to be the best way to get this to lay in here? This guy. Attach there. The guy attaches like so. Would like to have this cord come out that way. If I can pull this all the way to the front, it kind of is. Maybe it could sit in there just like so, kind of at an angle like that. And then I get the full cord length to hook up to my computer. And even if my computer's on the other side, I can still do the reach around there and hook up to that. So I think that'll work. Maybe he'll just sit right there. I don't know, that's all the kinds of things I want to figure out. All right, let's get this Xanum cable and see if that works for the face. Xanum, stand from the quality. Stand from the quality. Can someone tell me what that means? This phrase you use, I don't know if it means what you think it means. There's the bracket. So I think I'm just attaching Velcro here on the bottom side, and I really don't want to puncture this thing anywhere. I like the fact that it's totally enclosed. No points of failure there, with the exception just of the seal itself. So Velcro right there, attach it down on the bottom, and then once I unhook things, I can just pull that right out. Still not very long. I forget how long I ordered. It might be a foot. Might be 14 or 16 inches, somewhere in there, between 12 and 16 inches. Okay. Control head plugs in right there. Okay, I want this face back on. All right. Sorry if that camera's bouncing. I got you on my new, I got a new gimbal. This table is kind of bouncy. Hopefully the camera's ironing most of that out. Okay, length is perfect. I might take it under, like so. It's not quite so in the way. All right, let's see if that works. Looks like it. Looks like it. I don't know if you can read that display too well, but you can certainly hear the static there on 14320, but I have no antenna hooked up. Cool, and the microphone just stays hooked up right down here, and that's fine. And I will plug in my headphones right here. So that's fine. All good so far. I wasn't totally sure on that part. I wasn't sure that I could just use any old cable for any old cable. It seemed like it would work, but a lot of things seem like they should work. And now, do I keep this? I'm gonna keep this, or if I do keep it, where do I keep it? I think it makes the most sense to keep it in there. I don't know if this is gonna be too long now to fit inside here when I put the face on. That's something I'll have to try too. All these logistical things. Okay, now, that guy. I think this is the right thing here. It's one of these USB on-the-go U-Green. So this is going to go, oh dear. I don't know what that hooks up to. That is not what I need. Oh yeah. It's, I was gonna try to plug it into my, I was thinking I had to plug it into my DigiRig, but no, it's made to plug into my Lenovo. That's why the port looks different. Okay, that works. And then now I've got a USB port on my Lenovo. I was wondering where I was gonna have to put this thing. Now I'm thinking it's gonna have to be over to the left a bit. See, that's kind of the sort of thing why I want to rough all this out first. I don't want to attach it in the middle or over to this side and then have a problem with the wire. So if I'm going to have the cord come out on this side, I'm going to want to have this thing Velcroed over to there. And then I'm thinking of getting a mouse pad to ride in here that'll just, I'll lay on top of the radio. I'll lay here on top of the radio in the bottom of the case, and then when this closes, it'll have that foam pad, so nothing will hit this screen directly while I'm carrying this around in my backpack. I don't have a mouse pad here today. All right, I think that's all the connections. So again, this turned out a lot simpler than I had imagined. I was kind of excited about building this little connection board here, and I thought that would be a real easy way. That seemed really easy compared to having to reach around to the back side of my radio and make all my attachments there. But just turning it sideways like this, and having the face come this way, obviously this wouldn't work if the face is still attached because I want to be at this end. But since I got the face detached and I have it turned sideways, it's a nice way to operate the radio. And there's plenty of airspace here for the heat sink. I think maybe I could cheat this over a little bit more to give a little more space in the front. That's probably about as much as I could do right there. So I can almost get 2 fingers between the radio and the edge. Now we'll get the 12 volt gateway booting up here. Hook in the radio. Is that a charging port too? It's odd that it clicked when I did that. Makes it seem like it's getting power to the radio doing that. What if I unhook the power to the radio and now I hook up the USB? No click. Huh, interesting. My radio clicked like it liked it. This laptop's worked pretty good for me. I wish the screen was a little brighter. I think that's the case for most laptops though. This is going to be hard to set up here in the sun. Let's just do this. Let's open amateur log. Amateur contact log here, N3FJP. Let's see if I can get rig control working. I think I got it all still set up. I haven't done this before. Yeah, it's working. Change it. It's reading 14,320. I change it. You just have to give it just a little bit. Gotta unlock it. And there we go. It changed. Cool. So then if I go in here, I don't know if I have cat control. Let's say I want to listen to 7.200. Will it change it? Yes. Okay. All right. All that's working good. All that's working good. Now I've tried to see if I could get a Bluetooth connection between these two guys, and I can't. The computer can't see the Lenovo. All right, cool. Let's see, the thing I don't have is a cable to go from the computer to the Lenovo. I don't have any way of connecting them. I have the USB port. I don't have a wire. Simple USB to USB wire. Do I? Do I, Mike? No, I don't have that. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with that. Everything that I've hooked up so far has actually worked. I'll have to go home and play a little bit with the Lenovo setup and getting WSJTX, JS8 call, all those things set up and running the computer. I've never run any of that stuff on this computer. I have the software downloaded, but nothing set up. I'm gonna wait till I'm home in the RV and in better lighting to sit there and tinker with all that stuff. We'll do that this evening. But so far, everything's a thumbs up. This is gonna be an operational rig. I'm gonna run it like this today and see how I like where the face is positioned and having the radio on the left, the keyboard on the right, you know, all that stuff. See what works and what doesn't. See what things I haven't thought of yet, which is probably a few things. Let's fire it up. Man, this is cool. I'm gonna enjoy working with the face right here. I almost don't know what buttons to push because the radio is not here anymore, even though it's the exact same interface. Let's go to some 20 meter. All right. Let's go somewhere and call CQ, shall we? It's been a minute since I've activated. I don't even want to think of when my last Morse code activation was. Let's see, I can spot myself on that. Maybe I should. Getting a little bit of RFI on there, but it's not too bad. I can tell it's there, but it's not real distracting. Right on the ball. They're here. All right, power is 25. Okay, got that in. There we go. Five, 7, 9. Georgia. I got I0. That's what I'm going to go with. CQ, Parks on the Air, Kilo Echo 0, Victor, India Mike from US 2331 in Cheney, Kansas. CQ, Parks on the Air, Kilo Echo 0, Victor, India Mike.
November 0, Oscar Zulu Zulu.
November 0, Oscar Zulu Zulu, rating right there on the first call. I got you 5 and 7, 5 and 7 to Kansas.
QSL, I have you 5x5, Alpha Lima.
Copy that. Thanks for the heart of Dixie. Good luck out there today. 7-3.
7-3.
KE0 VIM, Parks on the Air.
November 4, Romeo Delta Juliet.
Delta Charlie Whiskey.
November 4, Romeo Delta Juliet. I got you. You are 5 and 7 to Kilo Sierra.
Thank you, Michael 5-7, Alabama.
All right, sir. Appreciate that 5-7. Another one from the Cotton State. Have a good one out there. 7-3.
7-3.
Station ending in whiskey. Go ahead. There was a station ending in whiskey on the last call.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Delta Charlie Whiskey.
Kilo Fox 0, Delta Charlie Whiskey. Got you 5 and 5 to US 2331. Back to you.
QSL 55, I have you about 5-2 into Northwest Florida.
All right, Albert, changing that North Dakota to Florida. Thanks for being out there today. Have a good trip. 7-3. All right, guys. This worked pretty good. I don't have any real gripes about anything. I did notice one thing that was happening. When I had this down, for some reason, it was when I had my hand down in a low position and I was typing, somehow the transmitter would get engaged. I'd hear the radio click, and I wasn't quite sure how that happening. I don't know if my thumb was just catching the lower part of the button and was doing it, but I think I caught it a couple times where I wasn't even touching the PTT and I heard the radio clicking. So I don't know if it was kind of going on and off or if it was going into transmit mode and back into receive mode. I'm not sure what was going on there. It might have been something getting triggered by the wire that was going to the computer. I don't know if something was going on there or not. That's what I suspect. It wasn't really my hand at all, but it was only when I had it in that position. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. That was the only thing that seemed a little fishy to me. I've never had that happen before. So something with this setup was causing that to happen. But man, it was great being able to get to these knobs. It was nice kind of having this guy stick out a little bit. I'll have to work on that screen back at home and see if I can get that to work. I'd be real excited if I could get a pin adapter or something like that running on this screen while I'm operating. And we'll get WSJTX set up on the computer, and then we'll be good to go. So far, I really like this setup. I think this is definitely the way I'm going to go for at least the near future. We'll run with this through 2025. We'll see what we think at the end of the year. So far, pretty good. We'll see if maybe there'll be some changes along the way. Who knows? I'm excited to run with this and get it in a pack and hike out with it. I'm Mike, Kilo Echo 0 Victor India Mike. This is the Travelin' Ham 7-3.